Hey homeschool friends, welcome to Curriculum Week. So this week I'm going to be talking all about my 2025-2026 homeschool curriculum choices for my kiddos. I have a 6th grader, a 4th grader, and twin 2nd graders. So you guys, I have some amazing choices and I'm so excited for everything that I have picked out. I am doing things a bit differently this year. Usually I do grade specific videos plus a family subjects video. I'm not doing that this year. I'm combining my family subjects or my content-based subjects like science and history within my graded videos. Yes, there is some overlap with my kiddos, but there's also a lot that's not overlapping. So let's just hop in for this first video where I'm going to talk all about my 6th grader. So hi, my name is Angie. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back, all the things. So like I said, we are going to be talking about my 6th grader today. You guys, I have a middle schooler. I am so excited for him. He will be 11 and a half come the fall. And so it'll be just perfect for some of these programs. And so before I hop in though, I do want to say a quick shout out to Sonlight, who sent me a lot of this curriculum in exchange for my honest opinion, review, all the things which I always give on this channel. So stay tuned throughout the year as I talk through some of these programs. And as I like to mention in all of these videos, I do have an affiliate link for Sonlight and some other programs down below. If you want to check that out, it's nice to get a little bit of a discount. So I think I will start with skill-based subjects and then end with content subjects. How's that sound? So for my upcoming 6th grader, we are going to be continuing with Saxon. This was an easy choice for him. He was the child I picked this curriculum for, and he's a child where it really works for him. So he is moving into Saxon 7-6 for this upcoming school year. We are still kind of going back and forth on if I'm going to use Nicole the Math Lady or use the dive discs for some of the lecturing, but sometimes he just reads the instructions and teaches himself also. So we've got some options, but irregardless, math, that was an easy one. Okay. Let's move into the plethora of language arts. Let me start with one of our bigger programs, and that is Sonlight Language Arts E. So my son will be using this in its entirety. This program has a lot of things involved in it, and we have been using Sonlight Language Arts off and on for a number of years. And so I'm very familiar with it. And the first couple lines here have to do with like spelling, handwriting, grammar, which are optional programs. I'll show you kind of what I've picked up for some of that. And then we have the readers and the creative expression, and that's what we use this program for, and that's what we love this program for. Here is the stack of readers that he will be reading this year. It is quite a few books, and I am excited for so many of them. Like, there are going to be some good readers for him. I do try to read some of these ahead of time. I don't always get there, but Sonlight has good questions for talking through the readers and what they're reading and asking good questions after they finish the sections. But like, I did see that Old Yeller is actually a reader, so we'll see. I mean, it's been so long since I've read this book, but I do have some memories of how it went. So that is a reader. Some other ones. So anyway, I won't show you them all, but as per normal for Sonlight, there is a number of readers for him to deep dive into, and then we will have some read alouds, which I will show you shortly. Okay, so that's the reader section, but then there's also this creative expression where we have dictation, mechanics practice, which is a little bit of grammar, which we're using both of those things. But then these last 3 days of the week are all creative expression. So this is my primary program for writing or composition. I'm gonna have a couple other programs that are more supplementary, or they could be things that we go into when we need just a bit of a break. We need something fresh, something new, but we usually always end up coming back to Sonlight. And so I did pick up Building Confidence by Brave Writer, and this is for ages 11 to 12, so he's like in the perfect sweet spot for this program. And I feel like even though I've struggled a bit with Brave Writer writing programs, it'll be fun to see if there's something in here that we can maybe tackle, and it would be just a fun reprieve. The other thing that I have picked up through our new enrichment school, which has like a homeschool curriculum option, is I did pick up Write Shop for him. Now, I have zero intentions of using this very much. What I wanted it for was some of the like mind mapping and helpful just like writing tools for organizing his thoughts. I feel like there are some really good things in this program, and so I wanted to take a look through it and see what we could pull out that could honestly support these two programs that have a bit more natural learning to the language arts and to composition. So I picked up Right Shop F, I think, for him. We'll see. I will kind of let you know how that goes in the future. It was free, so it was one of those things that it was a little easy for me to just be like, okay, I'll check it out. And we might be able to use some of the components or none at all. And that will be fine too. All right, so for the rest of language arts for my 6th grader, we are going to be continuing through All About Spelling. So he is about halfway through level 3 currently at the end of this year. And so we'll finish level 3, and then I picked up level 4. It's the new color edition, so I have the student guide and all the cards and such that I need to put together still sometime this summer. But we've been doing really well with this. He's been doing really well with All About Spelling, so we're gonna just continue with that. Okay, so a few other things. We do a vocabulary program. So this is Wordly Wise. Again, we're like halfway through book 4 and then book 5. So we just kind of work through it at whatever pace we want to work through it. My intention for a vocabulary program for my kiddos is just to keep them busy sometimes with good work. Like, this is good to expose them to different words, expose them to using the words and different things like that. But I do think that Sonlight in its entirety is very vocabulary rich. Like, we read so much that I wouldn't say we need a vocabulary program, but it's really helpful with just the ages of my kids. We have that. And then when it comes to grammar, like I said with Sonlight, it had that dictation mechanics. And so they do pull out mechanics and grammar and punctuation and sentence structures and all of those things. What I love about that is it's geared towards writing. So it's very useful grammar, if you will. But I don't feel like it's quite enough. And so I am going to, for the first year ever, check out Fix-It Grammar. This is so popular and I've just not wanted to use it in the past, but I did take a look through it and I feel like it's got some good stuff. And I like how short and simple it is. I like how it pulled out some really important grammar concepts that I have taught this kid in particular, especially with Logic of English, which I think teaches grammar very thoroughly. I love Logic of English, but we just needed to switch for other reasons, which I talked about in like my reflections video for this current year. So I'm gonna give this a shot. I think it has potential. I'm really excited to try it. I'm holding it loosely, to be honest. I think that's actually it, because for this child, we've stopped doing typing and we've stopped doing handwriting. He is proficient enough at typing. When he works on his creative expression, he's doing it on the computer. His handwriting is good enough. And so, yes, that's language arts for my 6th grader. So those are the main skills subjects, right? Okay, let's get into the plan for some of our content subjects, which are honestly my favorite. So I pulled everything over, and the first thing I want to talk about is just my favorite curriculum, and that's the history through Sonlight. So this is HBL E. This is year 2 of 2 of an intro to American history. So that's the history, and as well as Bible and literature. So let me show you a few of the history books. We are so excited because it's obviously the second half of world history. So we're using this World Wars book. My son has already just been like flipping through this and looking at it. We do love these types of books, these Usborne books, where they do have beautiful pictures and snippets of information that really are supported by the rest of the resources. So as a whole, this really supports some of the other things we are reading. Most notably things out of here, which is the Landmark History of the American People from Charleston to the Moon. This is volume 2. We've been working through volume 1 this year. These are very readable stories. I mean, it is definitely a historical text, but the way it is written helps it come alive. It helps the kids really feel that time frame. And then you get some more facts through the Usborne books. And then really it gets fleshed out with a lot of the read alouds. But before I get there, let me show a few other history specific resources like this one. It's One Voice, the true story of William Wilberforce, as well as like a missionary study. So those are commonly put within the history for Sonlight. Okay, and then on top of that, for this level, we have been doing the history lap books. So it goes with HBLE, and we really love kind of building the lap books along with the history. So that was the history part of the HBLE. Now, I'm not quite done with history because, like I said, we are doing the second part of US history. With my younger kids, notably my 2nd graders, we are using Peaceful Press. So that's a little spoiler for the video that's coming in a couple days. But this will be happening alongside some of this other history, and so my 6th grader will get some of the things in here, which are things like cooking and crafting, if he's interested. I won't make him participate in that, but he'll kind of be around. The thing that he probably will participate in is listening to me read the Little House books, which is really what drew me to that program, what drew me to using it right now at this kind of midpoint in American history. It's the perfect time to start talking about like Laura and Mary and baby Carrie. No? I can't quite remember. I read them as a girl and I loved them. So that's kind of an aspect of history that he will probably just be around for. All right, to move to Bible though. So in our guide, instructor's guide for Sonlight, which I just love these guides. I'm actually probably gonna film a video setting up all of my guides because I have all sorts of kids using different aspects of Sonlight. So stay tuned for that this summer. But what you can see for the Bible section, there's actually 5 different sections. There's one, the first thing is a case for Christ. So there's always an apologetics type book assigned for Sonlight, which we just love. It has been a little bit of a miss the last couple years, but I'm really excited for these Lee Strobel books, A Case for a Creator, A Case for Christ, and A Case for Faith. It's kind of a bind up here. And then you have student reading and parent reading. So the idea is they're doing a little bit more on their own, reading of the Bible, thinking about the Bible. There's a devotional this year. It's called Starting Strong, and it is a consumable resource, so the kiddos will be able to write in it. This is the first year where they're taking a little bit of ownership over reading the Bible themselves, over their faith, over considering things. Obviously, we'll still be talking a lot about stuff, but they'll have their own personal Bible reading, and then we'll have some family Bible reading, as well as memorization, which we may or may not do, or we'll definitely slow it down. All right, that's history, Bible, and so now literature. So these are the read alouds. I will be reading out loud to my kids that are very historical in nature. And so we have things like The Year of the Boar and Jackie Robinson, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, The Winged Watchman. This is a World War I book, I believe. Oh no, World War II, Nazi Occupation of Holland. This is Roosevelt, some bit more baseball books, Miracle on Maple Hill, as well as some Civil War, because this is where we're gonna start, is we have not covered Civil War yet. We're kind of easing right up into that at the end of this year, and so we'll pick up with the Civil War, and then we have some other Caddy Woodlawn, Great Turkey Walk, Little Britches. And so that's the plan for read alouds to round out kind of history. All right, now that I've covered history, Bible, geography actually goes with the history, geography, Bible, as well as read alouds, let's hop into kind of what's left, which is just a few things at this point. Science being the biggest thing that we are switching for this upcoming year. I've already made a dedicated flip through video where I showed all the resources for this program that I'm going to be using with my 6th grader, and that is Novare Life Science. This is geared towards 6th grade. The science does have a Christian perspective, but it leans more old earth, which is where I land. And so I'm really, really excited to give this a try. So that is science. Please go see that video if you want just a little bit more information about it, my heart behind why I chose it, as well as what's included. Okay, I wanted something fun. So I asked my kiddos what they wanted that was just a little bit extra. Not really a unit study, but just extra. And my son wanted to learn how to draw comics better. Like, he has definitely toyed around with it. He really enjoys reading comics. We have picked up different resources to draw them, but he wanted an actual curriculum. And so I found this one. It's called Comic Arts. This is volume 1 and volume 2. And this is from Thistle and Biscuit. I will link them down below. I'm so excited for him to try this. It's very much a step-by-step, how do you draw comics, how do you set depth and shadows, and how do you tell a story, things like that. So I feel like this is really good because it also touches upon composition, right? So it's like a sneaky way to get in some writing. So this is his kind of for fun subject. And even though we are moving, we have found a new enrichment school in our new town. And so I'm very excited for them to try this out. So he'll have that. He's gotten really into baseball. He'll do that. And then he has been doing piano for kind of his musical education, but he really wants to learn cello. So we might make that happen this year. You guys, I'm surrounded by stuff and I'm very excited to kind of dive into it, get it all prepped for next year. But let me know what you think. Do you have any advice for entering middle school? It's definitely a milestone and I'm very excited for my son and myself. But you guys, that is what I have. I hope you are well. I hope you are excited for this upcoming week of curriculum. So today, 6th grade. I think Wednesday, I'm gonna do my 4th grader. She's kind of 4th, 5th grade. And then Friday is gonna be my 2nd graders. So anyway, that's what I have. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to. And if you want to hear about how some of this curriculum goes in this upcoming year, please subscribe and I will be updating you as we go. But that's what I have. So have a wonderful day and I will see you in the next homeschool video. All right guys, take care.